Hey folks, welcome to another episode, and this one is for how to install Kali Linux. If you have not watched my previous video, it's about setting up your cybersecurity lab, computer lab, networking lab. It's something you want to do hands-on practice. Doesn't matter your entry level or your experience. It's something you wanted to build up your lab on your laptop. So this is one of the things you must do because you're gonna learn a lot. Because you can set up your network on these VMs. So basically you're at home, you have the network, but again, if you want to do some testing and if you want to do some hands-on, if you want to use some tools, so you can have multiple operating system installed on this Oracle VM VirtualBox like Windows 7, Windows 10, and this one I'm going to show you how to set up Kali Linux. So same way you can follow to install any other operating system. Kali Linux seems to be one of the most commonly used in the industry for cybersecurity practitioner, red team, penetration, and all that stuff. So, and plus it has a lot of tools available, 500-600. So, it's really good for learning perspective, especially for cybersecurity. If you are entering a role in that, even if not, but it's really good to have hands-on learning on Linux system as well. So I have this thing, Kali Linux. I'm going to open it, as you can see. I download it. I'm going to open it. So I just downloaded, and what we're gonna do is that we will just open it up and go from there. So okay, so as soon as I clicked on that package, this is what you can see on the screen. So out of the box, you don't have to do anything, and that's the reason I'm setting up from fresh installation. I did have before, but I wanted to show you because you're gonna see the same steps. So why not? You can just follow the same steps. So it's a 64-bit. This is the folder where it's going to be installed. MAC address policies there, including only NAT. Include all MAC if you have. Generate a new MAC address. I'll leave default, but again, if you're an expert and if you want to use multiple networks, if you want to create a new MAC address, this is otherwise network address translation, what it means. So it will have its internal IP address base, because when you select a NAT, it will have a different IP address. So, but it will work. Everything will work on your network. It can communicate with your machine and also to the internet. Appliance is not signed. They're saying, okay, this product is not signed, so I would just ignore it because usually there are some criteria. So we'll just go and import. Here it says the virtual Kali Linux required that you agree to the terms and condition of the software license agreement below. If you want, you can go to the website and read about it. I will just say agree, and here the process for importing is kicking off, and basically it will do the installation. So while the installation is taking time, what I want to talk about, you can have more than one Kali Linux. It's not necessary that you just install one Kali Linux, right? In this virtual box, as I told you, if you go and watch my previous video for the installation of the virtual box, but you can have one machine, you can have 2 3, depending how much your machine is capable of handling these load, right? How much memory you have on your computer or the laptop, or maybe the desktop, and how much this is space, right? So you can design it, right? On the laptops, usually they come with the solid state drive, so which is much faster. So if you have that, you can do it, or even you can set up your desktop and you can install it accordingly. So while it's there, what I'm going to show or want to show here, maybe if I can bring the whiteboard, kind of help you understand the concept behind it, because it's going to take time. So I want to leverage this time and make sure. So basically what I'm trying to explain here is this is my laptop, for example. See, okay, so here you see the laptop I have, and let's say in this laptop I have 8 GB RAM, and I have CPU here, and I have SSD, solid state drive. Let's say 256 GB I have 40-50 gigs available as a free, and my operating system is Mac OS in that case, but I'll write OS. It can be Windows. So this is my physical host. Basically this is my host. This is called host. So this host can be anything which is physical. It could be Windows, it can be Mac, the one I'm using now, or it can be a Linux host. It can be a Linux host, right? So it's the physical host basically. So this is the physical host, and this is how the virtualization works. I'll just keep an eye here. All right, so this is the concept of the virtualization. Now we have this operating system, so think of this as a layer kind of thing here. You have this, right? So this is a layer here. So now we have this layer. So, and this is the layer. This is where Oracle VirtualBox is going to sit, for example, on this layer. Oracle VirtualBox we are talking about, right? So this can be called as hypervisor. Oracle VirtualBox. I still have to watch. Okay, 2 minutes left. So, and then this thing is called hypervisor. Hypervisor. So basically everything sits on top of the hypervisor, and I can see in the back end things got kicked off. Which I will show you. Give me a second. Hypervisor. Yeah, it's tough to type it here or right here. And this is where on top of that this Kali Linux is going to be. So if you see here, all the configuration this machine is going to have, it's got 2 gigs of memory. This is the operating system. It has hard drive here. The display I have it is showing the display configuration from a MacBook. So it's going to share this from a physical hard drive. It says the port and all these things, normal 80 gigs, whichever. You can always change that, which I will show you in a minute. Internal audio. So this is by default basically, and this is a subscription or description and everything. So what is going to happen here on this hypervisor? So think of this, one machine is going to sit here. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, so this machine, so this is where you can say the hypervisor or this Kali Linux is going to sit here. So if you have a more powerful machine, you can have multiple machines. You can have Kali Linux 1, Kali Linux 2, Kali Linux 3. You can even have Windows on top of the hypervisor. So in a nutshell, this is what I was trying to help and get you understand, that this is the Oracle VirtualBox. So now from all these physical hardware, all these things can be shared, like the memory, like the storage and everything. So in one machine, physical machine, you can run multiple machines in a virtualized environment, and they are all sharing the resources of this hardware, underlying hardware. So this is a concept of virtualization. Now switch back to here. We have this Kali Linux, and if you think something is not right, you want to change it, the memory, basically you just simply click on that. You can change it from 4 MB to 8 gigs. As I said, I have 8 gigs, but for Kali Linux, I think 2 gigs is more than enough. The graphics card configuration, you want to change it, you can change that. There are controllers if you want to change it, right? So you will have to play around with that. Like for example, if you want to create it, choose create disk image, create a disk file. So you have to create it. If not, then you can leave as is. In this case, like network card, if you want to change the network settings, you can do that. Or if it's not able to change it, for example, you can always come here to the settings and go to the settings, and from here I was not able to make any changes. See, So you can create all this. So this is what you have to learn. Keep it by default to make it simple. But if you want to become more advanced, then you can play around with that. So what's going to happen? It will break, then you have to fix it. It will lose connectivity from the network. So this is what you have to doing it and learning on the network side of it. For example, it shows some ports. If you have, let's say, here is about the audio. If you want to enable the audio, for example, or not, you can disable it. Same thing is storage. Is about, this is the hard drive which will be created. Actual size is 11 gigs, for example, and the virtual size is 80 gigs. So it will show you on your Kali Linux it has 18 gigs, but basically on a physical disk space is going to be used on the Mac is 11 gigs, and you can play around with that, but leave it default. That's but if you want to try, you can do that here, the empty drive, because if you have any optical drive or DVD-ROM, basically you should be able to select it from here. Same thing here, as I told you before, for the video card and everything, you can come here and make changes. And here is about everything about your system is a summary. If I don't have optical drive, I'll uncheck it. If I have a floppy, I'll check. So who has floppy today? No one does, right? So I'll uncheck, and in a general it says, okay, this is the Debian is the version. You can have Fedora, you can have Linux, whichever, but whatever that come with the package, I'll leave as is. And these are the user interfaces and everything. So once you do that, configuration is saved. The next thing I have to do is start. If I start this, start kicking off the Linux, Kali Linux. So on this test machine, actually, I'm not going to do it. But this is the way you can set it up. You can start it, and once it's there, you should be able to log in as a root, which is the administrator account. And then if you need further help, you may have to go to Kali Linux website or Oracle website, where you can find the information or the documentation. They have some courses available, pen testing courses available. You can do and learn. You can do the labs and say some Kali Linux overview and what is penetration testing distribution. This is what it's designed for, basically. So you have to come and on this page and learn and go from there. So in a nutshell, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. But this will be your way to set up your lab, even for networking, not even for penetration testing, when you have the operating system on top of operating system is there. But do subscribe my channel, because I'm going to share some video around if you even don't have to do the VM, but you have a laptop in your home network is still on your Windows and Mac, you can run some command lines just for the basic understanding of the network, like IP addressing, DNS, DHCP, internet, how these things work. So I'll be putting those tutorial basic IT fundamental related. So in a nutshell, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.